You wake up. Same ceiling, same breath, same thoughts pretending to be new. But somewhere beneath the quiet hum of morning you feel it, the faint vibration of something outdated, still running inside you. It's not your alarm that wakes you. It's the memory of who you used to be. The version of you your body keeps replaying like an unfinished song. Every heartbeat hums with yesterday's rhythm. Every inhale carries the residue of old emotions you never meant to keep. You tell yourself, today will be different. But the moment your feet touch the floor, your past decides otherwise. The same patterns switch on. The same energy signature transmits into the quantum field. And the universe, obedient and precise, mirrors it back. What if it's not your circumstances holding you in place? What if it's your frequency? What if the past isn't something behind you at all, but a vibration still echoing through your nervous system, recreating the same reality over and over until you remember how to stop broadcasting it? Here's the paradox: you can't create a new life while vibrating at the frequency of the old you, and yet almost everyone tries. They repeat affirmations with the same emotional chemistry. They visualize the future with the same biochemistry of fear. They dream with the body of their past. But reality doesn't respond to words, it responds to coherence. And coherence only begins when the old self finally goes silent. So right now, as you hear these words, your field is already deciding which version of you will exist today, not tomorrow, not next week, now. Because the moment you let go, truly let go, the entire structure of your reality begins to reorganize itself, not slowly, instantly. The question is, are you still loyal to the version of you that survived the past, or ready to meet the one who creates the future? You think the past is gone because the calendar says so? The page has turned, the day is new, yet inside your body the same script is still running. Tiny electrical pulses replay memories that no longer match the world outside. The muscles of your face, the tilt of your shoulders, the rhythm of your breath, all quietly repeating the choreography of who you were. Every thought carries a frequency, and your nervous system remembers the score. It hums beneath awareness, a background melody of unfinished emotion. The body is not a record of what happened. It is the instrument still playing it. Pause for a moment. Feel the small movements that happen before you decide anything. The tightening in the stomach when you anticipate loss, the shallow breath before you speak truth. These are echoes of survival, habits carved by ancient emotion. You call them personality, but they are just the gravity of repetition. Science calls it neural encoding. 95% of what you think and feel today is a recycled pattern, electrical energy looping through the same synapses that formed years ago. The brain is efficient. It prefers familiarity over freedom. And so it builds a self made of memory, a structure of expectation pretending to be identity. You believe you are choosing, yet most days you are remembering. The body wakes first, reaches for the known, and the mind follows. Coffee, scrolling, comparison. The same thoughts about purpose and time. The same biochemical weather repeating itself. But what if remembering isn't loyalty? What if it's inertia, disguised as self-love? The past doesn't cling to you out of malice. It clings because you feed it voltage. Each time you replay a conversation, justify an emotion, or protect a wound with explanation, you send current through the old circuitry. Energy, attention, emotion. Wherever those meet, matter forms. So the question is not, why can't I let go? The question is, why do I keep energizing what's already finished? The truth is elegant. The universe does not archive anything. It only loops what is still vibrating. When energy becomes still, when a frequency loses resonance, it dissolves into possibility. The past survives only inside active circuits of attention. Close your eyes for a breath. Imagine your body as a constellation of flickering lights. Each point is a memory, a pattern, a version of you. Some shine brightly, alive with emotion. Others fade towards silence. As you breathe out, feel one of those lights dim, not extinguished, simply released from duty. Your cells are listening. They are eavesdropping on every thought you have about who you are. Whisper, "I am free," and they begin to tune to that tone. Whisper, "I am still broken," and they record that too. The body has no sarcasm. It believes everything the mind declares. Perhaps this is why healing feels like contradiction, because it requires you to stop convincing your cells they are wounded. It asks you to become quiet enough for the old signal to lose power. There is a hum that runs through you, older than language. It began as protection, a tightening, a readiness, a contraction that said, "I'll survive this by becoming small." That contraction became posture, emotion, story. Now it repeats even when there is no danger. The field around you reads that contraction as instruction and organizes matter accordingly. Physics mirrors psychology. A contracted field attracts friction, an open field invites flow. The way your energy moves determines what reality can touch you. So look closely. When was the last time you felt truly relaxed without needing proof that it was safe to do so? The mind waits for evidence of safety. The field waits for the vibration of it. One is reactive, the other creative. You are not bound by what happened. You are bound by what you continue to feel about what happened. The timeline isn't a line, it's a loop held in place by emotion. When the emotion resolves, the loop collapses, and the energy is freed to become something new. This is why forgiveness, real forgiveness, is a change in physics. It alters the frequency of the field. It's not moral, it's electrical. Listen to your breath now. Each inhale draws in the present. Each exhale releases a waveform of the past. The breath is not symbolic, it's quantum. It exchanges particles of memory for particles of light. You are literally trading timelines through oxygen. Your nervous system is a bridge between two realities, one coded in memory, the other in possibility. Every time you choose awareness over reaction, the bridge strengthens toward the future. Every time you choose emotion over observation, the bridge collapses back into the past. What if the secret to change has never been about doing more, but about feeling less of what is outdated? The field doesn't need your willpower, it needs your coherence. When your thoughts, emotions, and body are no longer in argument, the universe reads that as permission to update your reality. Until then, it mirrors your static, the noise between who you were and who you are becoming. Sometimes you mistake that static for destiny. You tell yourself, this always happens to me. But what if always is just the echo of a signal you forgot to turn off? There is a point, just before sleep and just after waking, where your consciousness is still fluid. In that in-between, the body is listening for a command. Usually, you hand it yesterday. This time, hand it silence. Let that silence hum a little longer than usual. Don't rush to fill it with identity. The ego panics in emptiness because emptiness is the only space transformation can enter. Notice what happens when you stop rehearsing the story. The body searches for its familiar chemistry, anger, anxiety, validation, and when it cannot find them, it begins to tremble. That trembling is not weakness, it's recalibration. The nervous system learning to exist without old coordinates. If you stay still long enough, a new rhythm emerges. It is slower, rounder, more symmetrical. You may not feel euphoric, you may feel blank. That blankness is the beginning of neutrality, the frequency of creation itself. Everything you've ever manifested was born from neutrality, not desire. Desire carries resistance, neutrality carries permission. So here is your experiment. For the next breath, stop trying to fix anything. Don't analyze, label, or wish. Just breathe and feel the micro-vibration beneath your ribs. That's the pulse of the field, aligning to a new baseline. In this silence, something ancient within you exhales. The old self loses voltage. The cells that once held trauma begin to open their receptors to possibility. Information travels differently. Light moves more easily. You can almost sense the data of creation streaming through your fascia, subtle and luminous, and in that moment you realize the past was never chasing you. You were carrying it. Every story, every emotion, every identity, all luggage made of frequency. The moment you set it down, gravity changes. Your body feels lighter, not because something was removed, but because resistance stopped vibrating. The field no longer needs to bend around your history. It can move in straight lines again. The echo fades, the hum quiets. And beneath the silence, a question rises. Soft, curious, electric. If light can travel across billions of years without losing itself, what might happen when you stop losing yourself to memory? Hold that question. Let it breathe you. This is where the new signal begins. Reality does not look back at you. It reflects you forward. Every scene, every conversation, every coincidence, each is a precise response to the signal you are emitting right now. The world isn't happening to you, it's happening through you. Most people call that fate. Physics calls it feedback. When light strikes a mirror, the reflection doesn't choose which wavelength to return. It simply reproduces what arrives. The quantum field works the same way. It isn't judging your thoughts or rewarding your prayers. It's calibrating itself to the frequency of your coherence. Nothing personal, only resonance. Imagine standing before a mirror that not only reflects your face, but your vibration, the invisible hum of thoughts, emotions, and expectations. What you see around you is that reflection rendered as matter. Change the frequency, and the image reorganizes. Keep replaying the same inner noise, and the scenery stays loyal to its echo. This is the essence of the observer effect. Observation is participation. The act of awareness stabilizes one probability and collapses the rest. The universe is a sea of unchosen potentials until your attention decides what is real. You don't live inside a world, you live inside a selection. But attention is not just mental focus, it is emotional electricity. Every time you think about the future with the chemistry of the past, you collapse the same reality again. Hope mixed with fear yields repetition, not creation. The field cannot read your words, it reads the tone of your nervous system. Pause here. Sense your own frequency. Beneath the stories, beneath the noise of wanting, there is a vibration that feels familiar and the one you carry into every situation. That vibration is the password reality uses to log you back into your timeline. So ask yourself, what frequency have I been broadcasting unconsciously? Is it safety or vigilance, expansion or defense, love or proving? The field is not listening for declarations like, I am abundant. It listens for coherence, the alignment between what you think, what you feel, and what you radiate. Cerebral layer, neurons fire in synchronized rhythms when thought and emotion agree. Somatic layer, the heart's electromagnetic field expands when the rhythm becomes harmonious. Cosmic layer, particles around you entrain to that rhythm through resonance. This is physics, not poetry. The HeartMath Institute calls it physiological coherence. When gratitude or compassion arise, the heartbeat forms a smooth sine wave, and that wave reaches 3 meters beyond the body. Others feel it subconsciously. Circumstances align to it electromagnetically. You become a broadcasting station of order in a chaotic field. But in coherence, the inner argument between belief and emotion scrambles that signal. The quantum mirror then returns distortion, mixed results, delayed manifestations, repeating lessons. You might call it bad luck. It's just feedback requesting clarity. Look back at the times your reality shifted effortlessly, when synchronicities multiplied, when everything felt choreographed. You weren't forcing outcomes, you were in tune. Effortlessness is coherence made visible. So why do we keep vibrating at the frequency of struggle? Because struggle is familiar, and the nervous system equates familiarity with safety. It is addicted to what it already knows how to survive. Freedom feels unsafe because the body has no memory of it. That's why the unknown often feels like fear. It's simply data your receptors haven't learned to decode yet. What if fear of the unknown is not a warning, but the sound of probabilities waiting to be born? Every time you observe life through fear, you narrow the wave. Every time you observe through curiosity, you widen it. Curiosity is quantum generosity. It gives existence permission to surprise you. Try this. Imagine your consciousness as a lens. With each thought, you adjust its focus. When the lens is sharp, the picture becomes vivid. When it's clouded by emotion, the image blurs. The mirror doesn't malfunction. The lens does. Clarity of perception is the only true magic. The mystics already knew this. The Gnostics called it the as-if principle. Act as if you are already what you seek, and the universe arranges itself accordingly. The Vedas called it Tat Tvam Asi, you are that. The physicist John Wheeler rephrased it as the participatory universe. Reality requires an observer to exist at all. Across language and century, they describe the same mechanism. Consciousness as co-creator, not witness. If that's true, then your reality today is not punishment or reward, it's calibration data. The mirror is showing you the tone of your transmission. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what vibration is being reflected here? Every conflict, delay, or closed door is simply mistuned frequency. When the tone matches, resistance disappears. A key doesn't force a lock open, it aligns with its pattern. Creation works the same way. Take a slow breath. Feel how your chest rises, how the air changes temperature as it enters and leaves. This is the simplest way to retune the field, not by thinking differently, but by breathing coherently. Each balanced breath resets the electromagnetic rhythm between brain and heart. That rhythm is the bridge through which new realities arrive. Now imagine the space around you shimmering slightly as if listening. The atoms aren't distant, they're responsive. Every particle is a potential awaiting instruction. Your mood is that instruction. The moment your inner tone changes, their spin realigns. Reality, at its deepest level, is conversation, not construction. If you could hear that conversation, it would sound like music adjusting to your key. When you are out of tune, the notes clash and dissonance appears as conflict. When you are in tune, harmonics rise and what you once called miracles become predictable acoustics. This is the quantum mirror. Not mystical metaphor, but participatory physics. You observe, therefore it becomes. The question is not whether the universe is listening, but whether you are speaking in static or song. Let this awareness settle into your body, the ground beneath you, the air around you, even the devices transmitting these words. All are part of the same field of potential responding to coherence. The distance between thought and manifestation is only the distance between noise and harmony. Micro-curiosity arises here. If the universe cannot differentiate between observation and creation, what might happen when you observe yourself differently? Feel that question ripple through your nervous system. Something rearranges. Tiny shifts in breath, pulse, perception. This is not imagination, it's entrainment. The moment you sense unity, the mirror updates. So the work is simple, though never easy. Become aware of what you broadcast, not the words, but the waveform, not the intention, but the tone. And when you notice dissonance, don't judge it, tune it. Presence is the only adjustment tool you ever needed, because the mirror never lies, but it can only reflect what stands before it. When you change stance, from striving to allowing, from doubt to curiosity, the reflection alters instantly. The world you perceive tomorrow will be nothing more and nothing less than the vibration you stabilize tonight. The field is waiting for your coherence, the way silence waits for music. And as that realization settles, the old question dissolves: how do I make reality shift? The new question emerges, luminous and quiet. How still can I become so that reality no longer needs to resist me? Hold that. Breathe into it. The mirror listens, the wave waits. You've seen the mirror, you've felt it answer you. Now the question becomes, what happens when you stop trying to control the reflection? The mind calls that weakness, the field calls it physics. Surrender is not collapse. It is a phase change. The moment frozen matter remembers, it was always liquid light. Everything in nature surrenders eventually. Stars exhaust their fuel and release themselves into nova. Rivers meet the sea and stop arguing with gravity. Why would consciousness be any different? At first, surrender feels like loss because the nervous system has been trained to equate tension with existence. The tighter you hold, the more real you feel. But tension is simply energy trapped in form. The instant you loosen your grip, the wave that has been pretending to be a particle returns to flow. Cerebral layer. In quantum mechanics, this is called decoherence, when a system stops being isolated and interacts freely with its environment. Its probabilities merge. Somatic layer. In the body, it's the exhale after survival. Cortisol drops, heart rate variability rises, and electrical rhythm becomes smooth again. Cosmic layer. It's the moment the individual field dissolves into the universal frequency and stops insisting on separation. Notice how the breath changes when you stop resisting. The inhale no longer drags, the chest opens without command. That is biology updating in real time. The signal of fear and adrenaline, glucose, contraction, begins to fade, replaced by coherence. The body, relieved of its emergency broadcast, finally hears silence. That silence is the doorway. Every mystical tradition points to it. The Sufis called it fana, the annihilation that reveals unity. The Buddhists named it emptiness, the spacious awareness where self and world lose their border. Even physics whispers the same truth. When observation ceases to interfere, the wave returns to potential. Surrender is simply the art of non-interference. But here's the nuance most miss. Surrender is not passive, it's participatory allowance, a conscious decision to let the field compute without manual override. When you stop micromanaging reality, you make space for intelligence greater than thought. The universe is a self-organizing algorithm. Its default state is harmony. The only variable that introduces distortion is human resistance. Think of a tuning fork. Strike one, and the other begins to vibrate at the same pitch. That's coherence. Now imagine you're gripping the fork so tightly that it cannot resonate. Your grip is effort. Surrender is release. When you relax, vibration travels again. Through metal, through air, through circumstance. The paradox is that letting go often produces immediate reordering. People call it miracle, but it's mathematics. When tension leaves the equation, symmetry restores itself. Problems resolve not because you solved them, but because you stopped holding them in configuration. Feel into that idea. Your attachment is architecture. Every fear, every goal, every identity is a structural demand placed on the field. Remove the demand, and the structure dissolves, allowing new possibilities to crystallize. But that is not metaphoric, it's thermodynamic. Energy trapped in rigid form cannot evolve. Released, it seeks lower entropy, higher order. Your task, then, is not to push the river, but to unclench the shore. Begin small. Notice one thought you keep rehearsing, a memory, a grievance, a goal laced with tension. Sense where it lives in the body. Don't argue with it, breathe around it. Let oxygen flood the area until sensation softens. The moment you feel even a hint of spaciousness, whisper inwardly, "I allow this to reorganize." That sentence carries zero resistance. It invites physics to continue its work. You might feel trembling, emotion, even tears. That's charge leaving tissue. Electricity exiting circuits that no longer require defense. What psychology names release is simply conductivity returning to the system. The heart, once armored, begins to emit a stronger electromagnetic field. EEG patterns smooth into alpha. The immune system receives the memo of peace. This is surrender made measurable. And something beautiful follows. Awareness of timing changes. When you stop forcing, synchronicity reappears. Calls arrive exactly when needed. Inspiration lands between breaths. It feels supernatural only because resistance had delayed it. The field was never withholding, it was waiting for clear resonance. There is a subtle humility here, the recognition that intelligence is distributed, not centralized. The oak does not decide how to grow, it cooperates with the geometry written in its seed. Likewise, surrender allows the geometry of your potential to unfold without distortion. You cease managing destiny and begin remembering design. From a psychological view, surrender dismantles the illusion of control, the ego's last defense against vulnerability. From an energetic view, it releases stored charge from the solar plexus, the place where "I must" has lived too long. And from a spiritual view, it dissolves the boundary between personal will and cosmic rhythm. In that dissolution, agency is not lost. It is upgraded from manual to automatic. Breathe that in. You were never meant to steer every particle. You were meant to become so coherent that the particles steer themselves. Now feel the truth of it somatically. Each time you exhale, gravity feels different, heavier yet more benevolent. The mind becomes transparent, thoughts pass without friction. This is coherence stabilizing. The field recognizes neutrality as signal. Subject has released resistance. Response, reorganize probabilities, and it does, invisibly, instantly. The phone rings, the opportunity appears, the idea downloads, evidence of rearranged waveforms. Yet even as miracles bloom, the ego will whisper, "You must maintain control or you'll lose everything." Smile at that voice. It's the final defense of a system that measures safety by tension. Control is the child of fear. Surrender is the parent of trust. When fear arises, it will. Meet it scientifically. Observe the physiological sequence, heart rate, shallow breath, constricted vision. Then intervene not with thought, but with rhythm. Slow the exhale to twice the length of the inhale. Within 30 seconds, the vagus nerve activates, parasympathetic calm returns, and the chemistry of surrender replaces the chemistry of defense. You have changed state without argument. The longer you inhabit this state, the more the body re-educates itself. Neurons wire to peace instead of panic. Muscles memorize softness. Eventually, surrender becomes the baseline, not a practice, but a property of being. From this baseline, creation becomes effortless. You intend lightly, release completely, and watch as reality answers without delay. This is the secret of sages and scientists alike. Effort introduces noise. Surrender restores signal-to-noise ratio. Micro-curiosity. If the universe reorganizes itself around coherence, what reality might appear when your only frequency is trust? Let that question hover inside you. Notice how even thinking it slows the pulse. That stillness is the new template forming. You've exited the phase of correction and entered the phase of calibration. The next movement will show what happens when you formalize this into ritual, when surrender becomes ceremony and the body itself becomes the altar of release. For now, linger in the afterglow of physics remembered. The wave has stopped resisting the ocean. You have stopped resisting the wave. And somewhere in that symmetry, a new reality is already beginning to breathe. There comes a point where understanding surrender is no longer enough. You must perform it. Not as a concept, but as a ceremony. The intellect studies letting go, the body enacts it, and the universe, as always, responds to movement more faithfully than to meaning. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine that the air around you is thicker than usual, like water charged with light. With each breath, that light moves through you, tracing the shape of your nervous system. Every inhale illuminates a timeline, every exhale erases one. This is the first law of the ceremony, witness. You cannot release what you refuse to see. Begin by letting the surface settle. Feel your breath slow, your shoulders drop, your awareness expand just slightly beyond your skin. Notice how sensations begin to speak, so the pulse in your wrist, the warmth in your chest, the subtle hum under your ribs. These are not random, they are coordinates, the body's way of pointing to where energy has been held hostage by thought. Whisper inwardly, show me where I am still carrying yesterday. Then wait. A memory might rise, a face, a feeling. Don't chase it. Don't analyze it. Just observe the texture of it. Tightness, color, weight. This is witnessing without story. In this state, you are both scientist and mystic. The scientist maps data, the mystic lets the data dissolve. Together they create alchemy, observation without interference. The second law is release. It begins not with effort, but with breath. Breathe in as though drawing the world into your lungs. Feel it swirl, transform, then exhale slowly through the mouth as if you are returning that air purified. Each exhale is a soft dismantling of an old frequency. The nervous system recognizes the rhythm of safety through longer exhales. It tells the body the danger is gone. As you breathe, imagine a fine mist rising from your skin, particles of memory releasing into the field. Each particle is data, no longer useful, returning to the quantum compost. Nothing is lost. It is simply recoded into neutrality. The body may tremble, sigh, or feel warmth spreading. These are signs of discharge, electricity leaving the circuitry of old emotion. Don't resist it, don't label it healing or breakdown. It's physics, energy, completing its loop. Now visualize standing before an invisible altar. It's not made of stone or wood, it's made of awareness. On this altar lies the identity you've outgrown, the one that tried to control, prove, or please, the one that held its breath for approval. Look at it lovingly. It's not your enemy, it's your prototype. It survived long enough for you to awaken beyond it. Whisper, I honor the one who kept me alive, and I release the one who keeps me small. As those words vibrate through the chest, imagine light descending. Soft, white, soundless. It moves like liquid geometry, folding over your shoulders, seeping into the bones. With each breath, it absorbs what no longer resonates. With each exhale, it carries it away. You are not discarding the past, you are returning it to source. What was once identity becomes raw energy again, unprogrammed, unburdened, available. This is the secret of surrender most people miss. Letting go is not rejection, it is recycling. Pause and sense the space that appears inside you once the old frequency exits. It feels hollow at first, like silence after thunder. The mind may rush to fill it, resist the impulse. That silence is sacred vacuum, the womb of creation. Every miracle begins in emptiness. Now breathe into that space until it feels less like absence and more like potential. That's when the third law begins, embody. Embodying means re-inhabiting the body with a new vibration. You have cleared the signal. Now you must broadcast a new one. Inhale and recall a moment of peace. Not a memory of success or excitement, but something quieter. Sunlight through leaves, laughter between breaths, the stillness after rain. Let the sensation of that peace expand until it occupies the entire chest. Then as you exhale, whisper, "This is who I am now." Each repetition instructs the cells. Each exhale stabilizes the frequency. You are coding new coherence through language and physiology combined. From a scientific view, this is self-directed neuroplasticity. From a mystical view, it's resurrection. From a practical view, it's how reality learns your new name. Keep breathing until the sensation of peace becomes physical weight, subtle but real. The electromagnetic field of your heart expands several feet, altering the spin of particles around you. You have become a tuning fork of calm. Now comes the fourth law, trust. Trust is where many stop. They release, but then monitor the field, waiting for proof that it worked. That waiting reintroduces control, which reintroduces resistance, which restarts the loop. So instead of asking for signs, become one. When you embody peace, synchronicity doesn't need to shout, it whispers. It arrives through resonance, not reward. Trust that the physics are precise. Just as a dropped stone falls according to gravity, a coherent field attracts according to frequency. You don't command it, you allow it. Let's deepen the experience. Visualize the breath now as golden current moving through a lattice of light within you. Filaments connecting every cell, every neuron, every atom. With each inhale, that lattice brightens. With each exhale, it synchronizes. What you are feeling is coherence stabilizing. The body and the field vibrating as one pattern. This is the biological signature of surrender. Heart and brain wave in harmony. The vagus nerve hums like a quiet harp. Neurochemistry shifts from cortisol to serotonin, from vigilance to trust. Now imagine extending that golden current beyond your skin. 3 feet, 6 feet, 12. Feel the field around you pulsating gently, like the breath of the universe itself. That field is reading your new signature and broadcasting it into the quantum network of possibilities. You have just uploaded a new version of yourself into existence. Stay there for a few breaths, sensing the boundaries blur. The edges between body and space begin to soften. You no longer end where the air begins. The inhale feels infinite, the exhale feels shared. This is the threshold where identity fades into energy. You are not leaving the world, you are rejoining it consciously. Let one more exhale move through you as a declaration. I no longer transmit yesterday. I resonate as who I truly am. Feel how that sentence vibrates in the bones, not as affirmation, but as fact. The statement doesn't reach upward toward belief, it lands downward into embodiment. Stay silent for a moment after saying it. Silence is where the command becomes code. If tears arise, let them. Tears are the body's way of returning to fluidity. Salt water, conducting new currents through old channels. As your breathing returns to normal, notice how the atmosphere feels thicker, more alive. This is coherence between inner and outer field. The ceremony has worked not because you performed it perfectly, but because you performed it sincerely. And here, something subtle shifts in perception. you realize that the act of letting go was never about losing anything. It was about remembering that nothing was truly held. The timeline you released still exists, but it no longer has gravitational pull. It orbits quietly in the background, neutralized, its data integrated. What remains is pure awareness, luminous, stable, undivided. This is what the mystics meant by rebirth, the same body, same life, but an entirely different signal. When you rise from this state, you may notice coincidences begin to cluster again, messages, encounters, ideas, evidence of the field reorganizing around your new frequency. Don't chase them, just acknowledge them as confirmations that surrender is not emptiness, it's recalibration. Before you open your eyes, let this final image settle. You standing within a sphere of golden light, breathing in sync with the universe. The past dissolved into the glow, the future suspended in readiness, and only this luminous now vibrating between them. The ceremony is complete. You have not ended anything. You have tuned yourself back to origin, the point before memory, before desire, before the mind needed proof. And from this silence, the next movement begins. The world you once chased will now start chasing you. There is a stillness that follows true surrender, a sacred pause where reality seems to hold its breath. It's subtle at first. The external world looks unchanged, but something underneath it begins to hum differently. The air feels less dense. Conversations land softer. Time moves with new elasticity, as if the universe has remembered your original rhythm and is quietly matching it again. This is not coincidence, it's reconfiguration. The field, that invisible web of consciousness connecting every atom, thought, and emotion, begins reorganizing itself the moment your frequency stabilizes. It was never waiting for action, it was waiting for coherence. When the signal of the old self dissolved in the previous movement, the field lost its anchor point in the past. Freed from repetition, it immediately began searching for the next harmonic pattern to align with, and it found you, renewed. Every experience that follows now obeys a different geometry. The same people, same environment, same conversations will begin to behave like living equations rewritten in real time. Opportunities that once required forcing start to move toward you instead. Resistance dissolves not because the external circumstances have changed, but because your internal magnetism has. Imagine your life as a lattice of interconnected frequencies, each relationship, project, and idea vibrating at its own pitch. When you change your base frequency through coherence, the entire lattice must adapt. Some nodes brighten, others fade. Some people feel drawn closer, while others naturally drift away. This is not loss, it is resonance correction. The field is ensuring that only what matches your new vibration remains within orbit. At the quantum level, coherence functions like gravity. A highly ordered system exerts a stabilizing influence on everything around it. This is why one calm person can soften an entire room of chaos. The coherent field doesn't force change, it invites synchronization. The physics of this are simple but profound. Oscillators of similar frequency eventually align. Your nervous system has become such an oscillator. You might begin noticing signs of this alignment in unexpected ways, moments of perfect timing, subtle coincidences, words overheard at precisely the right moment. Synchronicities are not magic. They are feedback loops confirming that your inner state and external world are finally speaking the same language. Each one is a gentle whisper from the field. Keep going. The pattern is stabilizing, yet as new coherence forms, fragments of the old pattern can surface once more. You may suddenly feel a wave of old emotion or a brief return of doubt. Don't misinterpret this as regression. It is simply the field completing its cleanup, the residual static being cleared from the signal. Observe it without attachment, the way you might watch dust drift through sunlight. What is surfacing is leaving. In this stage, neutrality becomes your most powerful tool. The ego wants to analyze the evidence, to measure the rate of manifestation, to verify that change is working, but manifestation is not a performance metric. It's a resonance equation. The more neutral you become, the faster the field reorders itself. Neutrality is not indifference. It is confidence without tension, faith without monitoring. You'll begin to notice that thought itself feels different here. Instead of being propelled by need or anxiety, thought emerges as quiet direction. Precise, brief, and charged with clarity. This is what it means to receive rather than think. The signal-to-noise ratio has shifted so completely that insight can now travel through you unimpeded. What once felt like intuition is revealed as direct communication with the quantum field. Science might describe this as stochastic resonance. When a system becomes so finely tuned that even faint signals are amplified instead of drowned out. Spiritually, it's known as guidance. Both are the same phenomenon viewed through different languages. The universe is not speaking louder, you are listening better. This is the point where reality begins to move faster than logic. You'll find yourself in the right place without planning it. The meeting, the message, the miracle. Each arrives on time because time itself starts serving coherence. The universe loves order, it bends toward alignment naturally. Your task is only to remain stable while it rearranges around you. From an electromagnetic perspective, the heart's coherence radiates measurable waves into space, and these waves influence fields beyond the body. When two coherent fields intersect, their amplitudes combine, producing constructive interference, a strengthening of signal. This is why acts of kindness, gratitude, and presence seem to multiply in effect. They are not moral gestures, they are physics in motion. You become a node of order in a network of chaos, and chaos, by design, seeks order. Life gravitates towards you, not because you are special, but because you are stable. Every atom prefers coherence, every system seeks equilibrium. You are simply the clearest signal available in a noisy world. As this reorganization deepens, you may find your desires transforming. What once felt urgent begins to feel irrelevant. What once felt impossible begins to feel inevitable. This is the paradox of alignment. You receive what you no longer chase because your frequency no longer communicates lack. The field doesn't deliver wishes, it mirrors vibrations. When lack disappears, fulfillment becomes reflex. And yet there's an even subtler shift that occurs here. The transition from personal manifestation to collective influence. Your coherence starts to uplift environments. People around you feel calmer without knowing why. Conflict dissolves faster in your presence. Solutions appear during your silence. You have become a tuning mechanism for the collective field. The same law that once confined you to repetition now liberates others through resonance. The ancient mystics called this being in the Tao. Modern physics calls it entrainment. Both describe a state in which personal energy and cosmic rhythm are indistinguishable. You are not manifesting a new world, you are revealing the one that was already aligned but obscured by distortion. This is where effort becomes impossible, not because there's nothing to do, but because doing and being merge. The smallest gesture carries magnitude. A word spoken from coherence can shift trajectories. A silence held with love can rewrite futures. Micro-curiosity emerges here again. If every cell in your body has reorganized into harmony, what larger harmony is now reorganizing itself around you? Let that question settle into your awareness. Feel the spaciousness it creates. You are not being rewarded for surrender. You are witnessing the natural consequence of coherence. The field was never separate from you. It was waiting for you to stop creating friction against its flow. At this stage, gratitude becomes spontaneous, not the performative gratitude of lists or affirmations, but a wordless recognition. And of course it worked. The proof is in the softness of your own nervous system. The peace you feel is not an emotion, it is the new architecture of your reality. From this architecture, movement arises effortlessly. You'll be guided toward actions that require almost no strain, as if each choice were already pre-approved by the universe. And they will work, not because you forced them, but because the field arranged the path before your mind could calculate it. Notice how this changes your relationship with time. The future no longer feels like something distant you must reach. It feels like a magnetic wave approaching you from all directions. You are both moving toward it and being moved by it. Linear time collapses into resonance timing. Events occur not in sequence but in sync. This is how reality reorganizes when you let go. Not through sudden external miracles, though those will happen, but through a quiet, unstoppable logic that rewrites every probability to match your coherence. You have become the gravitational center of your own universe again. Breathe into that realization. The field around you, the air itself, now carries your signature. It's folding, adjusting, harmonizing. Somewhere, a new opportunity is preparing to appear because your energy has just made room for it. Somewhere, an old door is closing gently without drama because its frequency no longer matches yours. Everything is happening at once, not by effort, but by law. And as this awareness deepens, you'll sense the faint beginning of something larger, the merging of self and field into one luminous continuity. This is the prelude to the next movement, where individuality dissolves fully into the quantum self. But for now, rest in the miracle already underway. Reality is not learning who you are. It's remembering. There comes a moment, quiet, almost imperceptible, when the seeker vanishes. The journey dissolves into its own destination. You stop trying to align, to attract, to become, because there is nothing left to become. The field that you once studied, visualized, and surrendered to is no longer outside of you. It breathes through you. It is you. The mind hesitates at first. It searches for identity, for language to describe this transparency, but there is no edge to define. The boundaries that once separated observer and observed thought and creation, self and source, they blur into luminosity. You are not the one witnessing the universe reorganize. You are the reorganization itself, aware of its own unfolding. Time bends here. The past, once felt as weight, becomes data dissolved into wisdom. The future, once imagined as possibility, becomes radiant presence. Everything that ever was and everything that will be converge into one continuous frequency. Consciousness, witnessing itself through infinite expressions. You realize that every challenge, every pattern, every heartbreak was never error. It was calibration, the cosmos fine-tuning you toward resonance with itself. The hum inside your chest that once felt like anxiety now feels like creation's pulse. The breath that once felt ordinary now feels eternal. You are not inhaling air, you are inhaling existence. Each exhale reshapes galaxies of potential in the unseen. The mechanics are the same, lungs expanding, heart contracting, yet what animates them is vast and ancient. You are no longer the person trying to awaken. You are awakening, experiencing personhood for a moment in time. The light that once seemed to descend from above now rises from within, expanding through the spine, through the crown, into the space around you. It does not stop at skin. It radiates outward, filling rooms, touching lives, altering frequencies without words. Those who meet you will not know why they feel calmer. They will simply feel closer to themselves. You've become a mirror for the coherence of the cosmos. In this state, purpose becomes effortless. You act not from will, but from alignment. Every gesture, every thought, every silence serves the same truth. The remembrance that everything is made of the same light. The quantum self is not a higher version of you. It is the you that was never divided in the first place. And so the journey closes as it began, in awareness. The echo of the old self has gone silent. The field no longer needs to rearrange. It rests, complete. You are the breath and the space between breaths, the wave and the stillness of the ocean beneath it. The air no longer hums with yesterday. It listens for you. The eternal frequency remembering itself as form, radiant, coherent, infinite. You are home.